that people are not always going to show up in the best ways. However, we cannot hold people to all the poor ways they showed up. And if we are choosing to do that, that means we also have to hold ourselves to the poor ways that we have always shown up.
Okay, wow. Good.
I think sometimes what happens is that when we lose a friend, because you're able to say like, okay, like I really, like this friendship, I really missed it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes what happens is that when you do have a romantic partner and you lose a friend, you just lean more onto the romantic partner. And then you don't even admit that I really miss this friend because you're like, well, I had my man anyways.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think definitely a lot of people probably do that. But I can't lie. I knew I missed the friend. Like,
you're like a lot of people, not me though.
Hi, and thank you for joining us today on the podcast. So I am here with someone that I actually go quite a far way back with. Actually makes me feel a little old. Because this guest was actually a student when I used to teach at Guelph Humber, even though we're not that even far in age, guys. So don't think I'm like her mama or her auntie or something. But she is here today, and we're so happy to have her. So thank you so much, Bree.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and Bree is, just like myself, also a psychotherapist with her own practice, flourishing, doing her thing. Yes. So, at this point, I'll just turn it over to Bree to tell the people a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Guelph Humber seems like so long ago.
Girl.
Girl. Man. So many things have happened. But yes, so I am a psychotherapist and a social worker. I own a psychotherapy practice that specifically is Black serving. All of the therapists are Black. And the idea is to ensure that mental health is accessible to Black individuals, not just in like reaching in regards to showing up to psychotherapy, but also the methods that are used are culturally relative, because mainstream therapy was not designed with us in mind.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's me. That's what I do.
Yes, love it. We need more of that, right? We need more Black therapists in the place. And today we want to talk about a topic. As my friend Jafina would say, do we have a topic? But today we're going to talk about female friendships, right? And I thought you were the person to talk to about that, right? Because you've talked a lot about female friendships. You've done events kind of around that. And I truly also believe that I'm a person that values friendship. And I feel that vibe from you too, that you value friendship. So let's get into this.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first question I have for you is an interesting question. And, I might answer it also after. But do you believe you're a good friend?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't just believe, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a perfect one, but I'm a very good friend.
Okay, so how would you describe yourself? And obviously, you don't have to go crazy in depth, but how would you describe yourself as a friend? How you show up? In your
very intentional. I'm a very intentional friend.
Okay.
I'm a friend who is consistently trying to be a better friend, and I think that's what makes me a good friend. Is that I'm always asking my friends, what can I do better? How am I showing up?
Oh, wow.
Inviting them to have difficult conversations, because I recognize that people are not always comfortable. I'm quite confrontational. So
girl, I can relate.
So while I will go to someone and let them know I didn't like what you did, I also understand that not everybody is that way. It took me a while to come to that understanding, because there would be times when people would have an issue and I'd be like, why didn't you just tell me? Like, I don't understand, because that's how I am. Like, if I have an issue, I'll tell you. But as I've grown and matured, I've realized that not everybody is there. And so I've learned to create spaces for people to be able to tell me when there is an issue. And I feel like that's a part of what really makes me a good friend. I'm genuinely interested in my friends' lives and their futures. And their wins are my wins.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, that's lovely. That's lovely. Yeah. No, I've actually, when I even thought of that question for you, right, I was just like, wow, that is a big question, right? To ask yourself, like, are you a good friend? Right? And just like you, I think, I do believe I am a good friend, but do I believe I also have areas to grow?
Of course. Yeah.
100%. Right? Even when you mentioned, that you have did you say it can be confrontational, right? You said
that, right?
Be,
I am.
Or you
I'm
are
working
okay.
on, the Lord
is
working on me. Heavily.
Okay.
Serious Eglinton Road type of construction.
Yes. Okay. Oh gosh. Because that not done all now. But anyway. All right. No, I get it. But when you said that, right, that part, I also thought about myself and times in the past where I'm sure people at a certain point, especially like young Dani, I'm sure people would be afraid to tell me if they had a problem because they're afraid I'm going to cuss them back and tell them about them, whatever,
Absolutely.
Right? So those are things that you definitely have to grow and acknowledge and work on, right? Because you want people to feel like they can talk to you.
Exactly.
And like they can tell you the things that, maybe something that you did that hurt them or something that you could potentially improve, right?
Yeah.
And I love when you mentioned that you also like look for that feedback and welcome it, right?
It's not always comfortable. Like it's
trust me.
Getting feedback is actually really uncomfortable. But I think when you have an end goal of being a good friend and showing up for your friends, then you're willing to sit in that discomfort.
100%. Wow. And I always think when I think of friends, my like first example of like friends, right? Because my mom is more a person who like hangs out with her like sisters and family and stuff, but my dad has like friends. Like he has one friend, like, shout out to Baba, right? But he and him used to sleep in the same bed from they were 9 years old, and they're 78 now and still friends.
I love that.
So I always had I did always value friendships. And although like new friendships can be great as well, I also value like that long-term friendships, because I always looked at that friendship and was like, wow, can you imagine like being that old and have a friend from your 9?
Right. Yeah. Who's seen all your stages of your life.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was kind of my first like example, I guess, of friendship. So I wanted to also ask you, what kind of was maybe your first example of friendship?
So I am one of 4 girls.
Okay. Oh wow.
So
you have a full
girls group. Full girls group. Actually, that was my dad's dream, was that we would all be singers. We could all hold a little note, but to have a group, somebody might be the Michelle of the group. But sorry, Michelle. But yeah, that was my first example. So my dad, so I'm Grenadian.
Okay. Nice.
And my dad, as many Caribbean people, grew up with his his great grandmother.
Okay.
And in the yard that they grew up in, there was like her and a bunch of her sisters. And one of the things that he always used to say, because me and my sister immediately under me, we hated each other at one point. Wow. Actually, let me not say that. We loved each other, but we couldn't stand each other.
No, I get that.
And I just always remember my dad saying, because he used to call his grandmother Mama. He's like, Mama and her sisters, no matter what, even if they fight today, they cuss each other today, the next minute they bring in egg for each other. The next minute somebody bringing flour for each other. And he used to pound that. He's like, you guys have to be each other's keepers. Like that was like the fact that we did not get along, like really bothered him.
Yeah.
And so like we would get into arguments and he would force us to hug each other and blah, blah, blah. And so I think that really solidified the importance of sisterhood, of course, but sisterhood and friendship for me. And like really working through the difficult things with someone.
Yes.
And I think something that it also taught me, and a lesson that I'm continuing to learn, is that people are not always going to show up in the best ways. However, we cannot hold people to all the poor ways they showed up. And if we are choosing to do that, that means we also have to hold ourselves to the poor ways that we have always shown up.
Okay. Wow. Girl, you preaching this morning. Okay.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon. Yeah, no, but you know what? You're right. Like, just like how when you're asking, for forgiveness yourself, basically you should be willing to give the same thing that you would want to get. Absolutely. Right? In terms of forgiveness, in terms of being able to navigate through different things that can happen within the friendship experience. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. And I also resonated with that part about the sister, because I also have a sister where we kind of had a contentious relationship as well. Right. But yeah, and it is like, and it does hurt the parents. I remember that too. It does hurt the parents. Right. But let's be real. It's not always going to be that scenario where you have these sisters and you're best of buds, right?
Yeah.
You guys might be very different, right? And then learning, yeah. I love that example for your first example of like friendship. Yeah, amazing. Okay. I wanted to ask, do you think that you sometimes, either now or maybe in the past, right, have had unrealistic expectations for your friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I've definitely had unrealistic expectations.
Or vice versa, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay, I'm about to use some therapy speak, but I'm a very like anxiously attached person. And that can sometimes look like I'll give an example. Sorry, I just thought of an example. So I have a friend who she used to live really close to me. She no longer lives close to me because she got married and she moved. Yeah. But I remember one time she came, it was around COVID, and she was like sleeping over at my house like a couple days. Yeah. And I remember when she was like, okay, I'm going to go home now. I started crying.
Oh, wow.
Like I was a
Yeah. You just didn't want her to leave.
I was just like, I think like the shift, like when I'm experiencing like being in a certain space with someone and then things shift because of my anxious attachment, I'm like, no, like, where are you going? Like, I'm used to this now, right? Yeah. So I think that because of my anxious attachment, sometimes I do have an unrealistic expectation in regards to like amount of communication or the amount of times that I see someone. That has changed since I've also gotten busier, but I can see how sometimes that still exists for sure.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And I love how you brought in the attachment style too, because I do think just like within a relationship, like a friendship is a relationship too, right? And your attachment style is going to affect it, right? And also, what's that friend's attachment style, right? Yeah. Is there's avoidant and you're anxious? You know what I mean? Like you guys are going to have to kind of learn each other. Yeah. Right? Yeah. In order to show up for each other, right? Properly, right? Yeah. And also when you talked about, because unrealistic expectations. Okay, so now, oh gosh, guys, get ready. Because I remember my expectations used to be ridiculous too, okay? So I used to be a birthday monster. In the sense, I still kind of am, but it's been better. I've improved, okay? Like, it's my birthday and it was like the month, like, and we're all going out, you know? And if you don't come, I'm vexed.
Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those.
Yeah, it's so bad. But like, that's what I could think about, like, kind of in the past in terms of some unrealistic expectations. Just like everyone has to come, and if you don't come, like, you know,
you're not really my friend. Do you even like me? Do you even love me? And make sure you bring a gift. Don't come with your hands singing. Who raised you?
I can laugh about it now, right? Because, like, even though I still love a birthday, right? If people can't make it now, like, it's soft for me, right? Like, you grow up, right? But that was just a quick, you know, funny example from the past. Because I actually remember there were two of my friends. Actually, I think it was Tristan and Corey that I got mad at one year. You guys remember that? And I cussed them outside of the. Oh my God. I forget exactly what it was. But anyways, but I do think sometimes, like, we can have unrealistic expectations of our friends and what they're supposed to do, what they're even able to do. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because we're all going through different life experiences. And actually, I think that that's also a pretty interesting point, right? How do you think life experiences can kind of change friendships too, and the dynamics?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the expectations and how those align with our life experiences, I think it's just the same as any other relationship, even like romantic relationships, where it's like if you have a deficit or have experienced a deficit in one type of relationship, oftentimes when you're building, because relationships are an opportunity for healing and correcting what has been done in a past relationship, I think there can be an expectation that one relationship will heal all the things. And I think that's where like the unrealistic expectations comes up, where it's like, okay, maybe I wasn't, my familial relationships, people didn't show up. And so now I want you to show up all the time for everything. And if you don't, that means you're just like my parents. Right. And so I think our life experiences definitely set a tone for, because we're all, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to, we're all seeking healing. We're all seeking, you know,
love, reassurance.
Yeah. And justice for our personal experiences. Right. And so I think that sometimes we seek that justice in new relationships. And then when certain things don't happen, it feels like injustice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I've never heard like kind of that you're seeking justice. That's really interesting too. Like we're kind of projecting our unmet needs on this person that has no idea what the need even is a lot of the time.
Yeah. And I think there's room for both though, right? I do, like I said, I do believe that relationships are space for healing, right? Like I do believe that it is a corrective experience. And so if you've experienced not being supported, a friendship can heal in that way. Yeah. I just think that it's about, like you mentioned, like, does the person even know that this is something that is a problem, right? Yeah. Because then they can have grace and show up in a different way. But we're often not having those conversations. Let's be real. We're not having those conversations in friendships until we're maybe a little older, maybe. Yeah. Then we can be like, okay, this is where
or that person just really knows you over a period of time and maybe knows some of your past like history that they can kind of understand that.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I was talking about life stages too, I was also kind of talking about those changes that can happen in friendships where maybe somebody, you know, has a baby, you know, has a relationship, gets married, right?
Hoocha.
Girl, right? Because I swear at each phase, I swear I like dropped one. Like, you know, like, well, like not, you know what I mean? Like I had an issue. I remember.
And I like that I'm single, no kids, and you have a child. And we're married, right? And so I love that we're sitting on opposite ends in some space. Because I feel like we might have
differing views
that might help each other.
No, for sure. No, totally, because like I kind of feel like I know what you mean. I kind of feel like I've kind of experienced like different life stages and how I change in those different stages, and then how people change as a result when I'm in those life stages. So I will say that specifically with female friendships, I find that those life stages can definitely have an impact. Especially when it's someone who maybe that was your rollie and you guys are doing everything together, and now I don't have time, and now I have a newborn that's on my titty, you know, like, you know what, I just don't have the time to maybe show up for you in the way that I was showing up for you before, right? But it's about kind of, I think the gap there is that sometimes we're just not having that open conversation, right? That, you know, it's not that I don't love you. I'm just tired, girl. Like, you know, or like, so I feel like how have you felt in some of those situations when maybe a friend, you know, had a child or got married or something like that?
Like I said, I'm anxiously attached. So if my friend's sleeping over for 3 days, I'm balling. Imagine when she moves to a whole different city. She's married now, right? Yeah. And I think that, I mean, luckily, because like I said, I have really serious conversations with my friends, like difficult conversations with my friends. So luckily, I was able to, after a while, after being in my feelings for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And also just like, because I am confrontational and learning to show up differently, sometimes I choose not to have conversations right now.
Okay.
So
So you can compose yourself.
Exactly. So it took me a while, but I think for me, there's a feeling of abandonment for sure. There's a feeling of, I'm particularly talking about marriage, right? There's a feeling of like, we were each other's people. Before. And now somebody else is your person. And in this particular case, it felt as though, for me, like, now that you found your romantic person, I'm like no longer important. That's how it felt. And this was happening prior to marriage. So it was like, and it's a very difficult place to be in when you are genuinely trying to be happy with your friend while also grieving your friendship.
Yes. And I think there's so many layers to that too, right? Because it's like, I also know people who got married and they drop off the face of the earth. You don't even hear from them again, right? But I legit kind of prided myself on not being that person. Like, I was a person who I still would go out with my friends. I still be like, come over, whatever, right? So I kind of felt like, what more do you want from me? Like, I'm still inviting you out. I'm still inviting you over. Like, I just can't be out like that because I have a, you know, So I know it's really hard. It's really multi-layered, right?
And I think if you're not able to, like, if you're not in a space where you can safely have those conversations, that's when it becomes like, okay, well, like you said, like, what can I do? I feel like there needs to be understanding as well, and grace extended as well. I think, like, if you have a child and you're in a different, like, you just can't do the same things you do as someone who doesn't have a child. That's just the reality of it, right? And so I think there definitely needs to be like understanding on both
On
ends,
both
and then
sides.
being intentional, just like we do in romantic relationships, about what does it look like now. Okay, you're married, you have a child or whatever it is. Maybe you've moved away, whatever those life stages are. Having a conversation about what does our friendship look like now, like actually sitting down and saying, okay, so does it mean that instead of us being able to be spontaneous, now we have to plan? Okay, monthly, we're going to go out. This is our day.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't do that with friendships. We do that with relationships, with romantic relationships.
Oh, girl. Snapping again. Because I really, really like that. Being intentional about our friendships. Because I do agree that... And I don't know if it was you that said it, but I do believe that we do put the romantic love on the pedestal, right? That gets the priority. That gets the planning. Oh, yeah. Girl.
Women do.
You're right. Right? That gets the priority. That gets the planning, right? But when I actually think about it, and I've said this before, it might hurt some feelings, but it is what it is. When I think about it, during my wedding time, my maid of honor and I smash up, right? So that was bad, right? And you already know after that, like, me and my husband mashed up, right? Ask me who I was more sad about.
The friend. Yeah.
The friend.
Yeah.
Because we were friends since like young, right? So really, as you said, why are we just putting the romantic love on a pedestal? Because if you look at that, like I think I hurt more about that, to be real, than the other. Oh, actually, we talk now though, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. No, that's good.
No.
Yeah,
but that took a long time, right?
Yeah.
That took me calming my ego down, like, oh, I don't like her no more. She's foul, you know what I mean? And that took her, like, also reaching out to me multiple times, because the first couple of times I just ignored it. You know what I mean? So it took a lot for us to even get back to the point where we are able to talk now and be cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said your ego. I feel like that is like the biggest
part of it.
The biggest thing. Nobody wants to admit that maybe they were wrong. Or also sometimes we just need to give up the idea of who is right and wrong. Like sometimes it's just about, sometimes nobody's right or wrong. Sometimes both things can be true. And we need to be able to say, okay, both things are true. How can we find common ground? Because it's not always going to be... Okay, it's just like, you know how in the relationship counseling they say it's not you against them, it's you both against the problem.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
If you really value that friendship, it's not necessarily you against your friend. It's what is going on here and how can we move past it? Even if we don't agree, because we're two different people from two different places, different life experiences, we're not always going to agree. So how come friendship could mash up after one agreement, but marriage you have to stay? Yeah. And you have to work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like if you truly value this friendship, why wouldn't you want to try to work it out the same way that you would try in a relationship?
But you know what I think happens? And then we're talking, this is coming to mind. I think sometimes what happens is that when we lose a friend, because you're able to say like, okay, like I really... like this friendship, I really missed it. Yeah. I think sometimes what happens is that when you do have a romantic partner and you lose a friend, you just lean more onto the romantic partner. And then you don't even admit that I really miss this friend, because you're like, well, I have my man anyways.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I think definitely a lot of people probably do that. But I can't lie. I knew I missed the friend. Like
a lot of people, not me though.
Like I still had an ego, like like I ain't talking to her though, because she did me bad, but but I did acknowledge that I missed her. But the good thing though, when we did talk back, I think we both had the miss, and people who knew us were even like, I can't believe you, because it would be like, they see me, they see her, they see her, they're like, where's Dani? They see me, they're like, oh, where's so and so. So yeah, I think yeah, but you're right. I think a lot of times you can just lean more onto that partner instead of addressing the issue in your female friendship. So yeah, the layers to this, girl, layers to this. And I think a part of it too is sometimes we're expecting, just like how we do, again, like I know we're doing a lot of comparisons to romantic relationships, but we're expecting people to be able to read our mind. No, honestly, to know what we need.
Yeah.
Like, say, I don't know, say hypothetically a relationship mashup or something, right? And I'm expecting you to come take me out to eat, you know, spend time with me. If they don't know that, they might just text me, be like, "Oh, hey, girl, you good?" or whatever. And I'm thinking, you know, you're a shitty friend. You know, so we also should communicate sometimes, because sometimes the person doesn't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that sometimes, a lot of times, the issue is that we've had a lot of experiences where we've expressed our needs and they've not been met. And so actually expressing your needs feels like a very heavy risk. And so instead of actually just saying plain out, hey, I want to spend time with you, or hey, whatever, because you know, all that, I'm not begging no friend and it all comes down to a fear of rejection.
Yep.
You're not quote unquote begging friend because you're afraid that if you do, you're going to be rejected. That's what it comes down to. But we're going to say it a different way to make ourselves feel better. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of times when we don't express our needs, our fear is that we're going to express that need and then that need's not going to be met. And then what?
Yeah. Well, then I think, but then to be honest, then you could say that, okay, this person's really not showing up for me because you've expressed it. But usually what we do is we get mad about something the person don't even know what they did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So at least then you would have taken that step. But I know it is hard. It's vulnerable. It's hard to put yourself out there. Very hard. And be vulnerable in that way. Yeah. And but again, like, you know, if you're willing to do that in your relationship, why not do that with your friend too? Right? I
agree. I mean, some people don't even do it in their relationship, but that's another conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Facts. That's why. You are right. Do you see couples too?
I have. I let me not say that out loud. Actually, I can say it. Seeing couples is not my favorite thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, let me not say that, because next thing somebody looking for couples, they're about to do the consultation, lose a client. My other therapists love that. Yeah. Me personally, I don't. Just mainly because, let me not say I don't like it. I just feel like oftentimes when people are coming to couples counseling, it's often like one person is like, well, if we don't go, then it's we're done. Right? And so one person's coming in, not really caring to be there, but they just like, well, he said, or mostly she said, I gotta be here. So let me be here. Or it's a situation where neither of them have actually done individual therapy. And so we're sitting in couples therapy doing individual sessions. And I'm like, no.
I always ask. Yeah. I always ask, are you guys doing your own therapy?
Both need to go to therapy.
Or have you done it? Yeah. Because I do think that is important to know.
I think that couples therapy works as well as individual therapy has.
Yeah. I agree. And I know sometimes people are like that, well, that's a lot of therapy, but legit, you're right.
You've lived a lot of life. You got a lot of trauma.
No, it's true though, because you're right. You do end up dealing with individual issues if they haven't done some of the work on their own. So yeah, that's truth. That's truth. All right. Well, let's just, swing back, get back on topic. Do you believe that we overall just have a general distrust for women?
Oh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that the world has socialized us to believe that women are not trustworthy. And if I'm also, in addition, speaking particularly about Black women, when we think about the history of Black women, how we have been seen as trying to teach somebody man, trying to sleep with someone, trying to, that's kind of been the story. I don't know what the women and the aunties in your life have sounded like, but I know for a lot of us, it's like, don't trust that girl. You got to be careful. You can't be trusting girls. One of the things
around your man.
Yeah.
All them kind of
you
things.
Can't trust girls around your man because they're going to sleep with your man and this and that.
But it's like, then do you trust the man?
But that's it. What I mean? Right? And that's the whole idea of holding women accountable for everybody. We hold women accountable for men. We hold women accountable for themselves. We hold women accountable for children.
Yeah.
We hold women accountable for the entire world.
Yeah.
Right? And if they happen to, there's no margin for error. If they happen to mess up, then that has now tainted their entire image for the rest of eternity.
No, I get it. Yeah, there is a lot. There is a lot on women. And I know having those conversations, it's so interesting talking about the aunties. But yes, I know. But but when really, what should the focus be on? You guys having a relationship where you guys trust in each other. That's that it shouldn't even matter who's around.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But I do agree that overall we do have a general distrust, right? And that's due to a lot of other things too. I think it's due to like, you know, past experiences, you know, jealousy. Maybe someone did teeth your man, right? Maybe someone, you know, like all of those. And obviously when I say someone teeth your man, obviously the man is bad himself. But you know what I'm saying. You just have that trauma.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, of course, there are women who do show up in that way, right? But it doesn't mean that every woman shows up in that way, right? And you said something that I love to talk about.
Okay.
The jealousy thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I feel like when it comes to jealousy, only women are demonized for experiencing that emotion.
Yeah. No. I know that was a long. but no, you're right. Because legit, right? If someone does have something that you long for, it's kind of natural to feel. It doesn't mean you can't simultaneously also be happy for them and still be kind of struggling with the fact that, oh shoot, I kind of want that for myself too, right?
And there's literally like a type, like a character type that we've created of like that jealous type of girl. We don't hear anybody saying that jealous type of guy. We don't hear that talk.
No, not really.
But there's a character type of a woman who is jealous, like, oh, those type of women, right? And that, of course, as a psychotherapist, jealousy is an emotion just like any other. And every we want to admit it or not.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so this idea that if you experience jealousy, that then means that you're a certain type of woman, I do not like that. And I don't agree with that. And I think that if we spoke about our jealousy more, we would have less issues in friendships. I know.
Very good point. I do agree. But I also do agree that you can't, like, yes, you can experience the jealousy, but you shouldn't make it then, like, almost overtake you and make you do really crummy things.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
But I know it's still a conversation that is usually not had. It's just like, oh, she's this, she's that, and it's done.
Yeah.
Instead of having that conversation about it.
And I agree. And that's with any emotion, though. In the same way with anger. You can experience anger, but you don't let it make you do horrible things.
Yeah,
you can be sad, but you can't. It's just like anything else, right? But we seem to have separated jealousy from all the other emotions and demonized it
as something really bad. Yeah. No, you know what? I completely agree. Yeah. And as you said, it's a very, very common emotion, especially, I think, amongst women, because we're compared to one another so much. Right? Actually, that gets into something too. I recently, stupid me, did a street interview with my friend, and I got like roasted in the comments. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, my friend, she's a personal trainer. Her body's like ton up. People were calling me Big Mama and stuff like that. Yeah, girl.
Big Mama, why am I want to know? No, call them. Let me talk to them.
Girl. Let me tell you, for first I was like, oh gosh.
My God.
I was like, you know what? This is a social media. It's not a real place. Let me just leave it there. Right. And I'm not going to lie. You know, I turn lemons into lemonade. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest, I am used to being a smaller size just because over COVID, my daughter, you know, there are excuses, but those are kind of the reasons where I got bigger. And actually, since that video, girl, I lost 10 pounds. So, you know, everything has a good and bad because me feel good.
If you lost the pounds because you wanted to, I love that for you. If you lost it because people didn't have no manners inside Instagram comments, I hate that for you.
No. I totally understand what you're saying. And I knew that with that comment, I was going to get some flack on both sides. But low key, I already wanted to lose the weight. I just needed, like, I guess that was just like kind of helped a little push me to, because I have so much clothes, girl, that I didn't even fit into. So now I'm starting to fit back into them.
Buy new ones.
You're like, buy new ones.
Buy new ones.
Well, you know what? Don't get me wrong. Even being that big mama size, whatever, 10 pounds thicker, yo, I'm still getting men same way. So I don't think there's a certain size that's beautiful and not beautiful and all of that kind of thing, right? I'm just kind of doing this because this is just kind of my normal and also just like for health and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was an experience, you know? It was a humbling experience too.
That comparison thing. Yeah. But the thing is that we do it as well. Like as women, we are the number one. Like something that I see all the time that I highly dislike when people see two siblings. Oh, this is the prettier one. I'm like, why is that the first thing that comes to your mind?
And why are you even, I hate that.
It's so odd to me. Like, you see two sisters, you can't just be like, okay, that's the prettier one. I'm just like, that's even with little babies.
I know.
It's so weird to me.
I know.
And they don't do that with little boys.
No. Oh, yeah.
They do not do it.
You know what? That is true. That is true. It's like women are just always pitted against each other in like every aspect. Historically. So we have to really do the work to make sure that we don't start to pit ourselves against each other because of that, right? Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. It's real, right? And I think a big part of it is, as you said, like leaving ego at the door, right? Maybe just openly acknowledging the feelings that we are experiencing and allowing those feelings such as jealousy, right? And not demonizing it, are really important points. Okay. I will also wanted to talk about something kind of interesting. I wanted to ask you if you were ever in a friendship where you were let down. Oh, absolutely. Where you, like, any particular situation that comes to mind?
That I am willing to share?
That you're willing to share. If you're not, then it's cool, but that you are willing to share.
There's been plenty. I don't think I'm ready to share any of them.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I feel like it was the same situation where my best friend didn't come to my wedding. I feel like I was really let down just because I just felt like, oh, you're really not going to come. Like, after knowing you since we were 13 and like, I'm at your house every day. Like, what? Yeah. You know? Yeah. But don't worry, girl. We cool now. But I think that was one where I think I was really let down that just comes to mind like quickly with female friendships. Yeah.
I think what I will share is I'll share it in a broad sense, a situation where a friend was very quick to discard me as a friend. And that was very painful for me. Because I don't see people as discardable. Like, I don't see people as just things that you just throw away. Especially when you've said certain things, like, you know, in regards to how close you are with this person. And, you know, you said like that, it just didn't sit right with me. It felt very, very uncomfortable. Yeah. Because for me, it's like, even if the friendship was going to end, I would not have expected you to discard me. Like, let's have a conversation and we can end I have no, as difficult as it is, I have no issue with ending friendships. It will be difficult, of course. But I don't have an issue with ending a friendship if it is the best thing for you or if it's the best thing for me. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, I want what is best for my friends. And so if me being out of your life is the best thing for you, baby, remove me, right? But I think there's a way that you do it. And I'm very big on leaving people with their dignity intact. And so for me to be discarded, it was very difficult for me.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I wonder if when people just do that, it's likely just like a defense mechanism, right? They're just like, I'm going to discard you before you discard me. You know what I mean? A lot of the times.
Or I don't have enough emotional regulation to not do something impulsive. And so let me just discard you. But guess what? When you do that, you don't get the chance to come back and just take me back up like I'm a little spin toy. Because there are limits.
I think that's another thing we didn't really talk about, limits. But I know I understand, because I think also with friendships, you're right. We should have that the same way that your boyfriend would have to break up with you or you'd have to break up with him or whatever. Right? To give them that time, give them that conversation. Like if a guy just totally ghosted a girl he was dating for years, people would say, oh, he's horrible. He's this, he's that. But again, we do that in our friendships, right? So I totally understand that boundary of just being like, you know, I either would not let you back in again, or if you are let back in, there's going to be certain boundaries or parameters that I'm going to put up to protect myself, because boundaries are valid.
They're a very real thing. And I think as much as I value friendship and all of that, and like anybody who knows me knows, because I do not play about my friends. Like I don't play with them. I'm very loud about not playing with my friends. However, I also believe that there are situations where people will be close to you and not like you. Like, you, by the way you treated me, I know you don't like me.
You didn't like me.
You probably never did like me. Sometimes, something that someone said that really sat with me, they said, Breanna, sometimes people are attracted to your light. But they don't actually like you. But they want to be in your light. But they don't actually like you.
Or they resent you for it.
Or they resent you for it. Or they're experiencing jealousy and they can't say it because they haven't admitted it to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that is a real thing. And I know, because that's like such a big thing. Because imagine, like, I can't even imagine being friends with someone I don't like. But I know, but it's real, right?
Because sometimes they don't know that they don't like you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they haven't been real enough with themselves to be like, I don't think I like this person.
Yeah.
And so how can they be honest with you when they haven't been honest with
themselves? 110%. Yeah. And, oh, man, I know female friendships really are multi-layered. And I think it's all about getting to a place where you better understand yourself too, so that you can be able to fully show up, have those hard conversations, have that emotional regulation, you know, because not liking because of a light is because of a lack of a light in yourself, like a lack of,
or a lack of seeing
self.
your own light.
Yes,
because it's there.
Woo,
but you just don't see it. And I'm so sorry that you don't. But trying to take mine out is not going to light yours.
No, it's definitely not. Yeah. So, any final words that you would leave the people? Like, you know, maybe like even it could be just like one. It could even be one word or two words or a sentence about like friendship.
I think I'm gonna end with what I said earlier, in that you are not the sum of all of the worst ways that you've shown up, and neither are the people who have shown up in horrible ways. And so that doesn't mean that you have to remain in connection with everybody, but it does mean that grace should be extended. And I would challenge people to be intentional about your friendships, have the difficult conversations, and let go of pride. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody. Pride and ego. If they haven't reached out, reach out. There's somebody that you're waiting on to reach out to you. Reach out to them.
Yeah. Ooh. Yes.
That's my final words.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because you're right. Like, there is somebody waiting for you to reach out. Like, I was definitely waiting for that friend to reach out, you know? But
and she was waiting for you to reach out.
Right?
And now nobody reaching out.
Right? Facts.
And everybody's sitting vexed.
No. Yeah. And missing each other.
Exactly. And but then going to the club like, my life is the best. What do you mean?
Yes, I think if we could just be realer with each other. And thank you so much for those words and just your perspective and for coming today. And thank all of you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.